5 people killed in a plane crash in St. Croix. And in sport, interim West Indies captain Craig Brathwaite says partnerships will be key in the second test against New Zealand. I'm Dawn Paris and this is the Caribbean in 10 for Friday, December 8th. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Did you know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us, students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
Five people were killed when a private chartered plane crashed soon after taking off from the Henry E. Rawson Airport in St. Croix last night. No one survived the crash, which occurred around 8:45 p.m. Police Commissioner Delroy Ritters told the media that soon after the plane took off from the airport, it experienced engine problems with flames coming from one of its two engines. He said the pilot circled back and attempted to land at the airport, but the plane crashed in a field near the runway. Commander of St. Croix Rescue's extrication team, David Goodrich, says that by the time they arrived on the scene, there was nothing they could do. Media reports indicate that among the dead was a member of the Styley Band, one of the territory's premier musical groups. But spokeswoman for the Virgin Islands Port Authority, Monifa Brathwaite, said officials were not yet able to release the names of the deceased. The Trinidad and Tobago government's attempt to reintroduce anti-gang legislation failed after the main opposition United National Congress voted against it. And Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has warned that more people will die because of that. At a press conference yesterday, he said he was left in shock and disbelief after opposition members withheld their support for the crucial crime-fighting bill, even after his government conceded on every single one of their demands. CNC3's Ria Rambali tells us more.
Less than 24 hours after the bill's defeat, the Prime Minister called a news conference to explain that his government bent over backwards to accommodate the opposition. During debate, however, Dr. Keith Rowley sensed the opposition's hesitancy.
I called the opposition chief whip behind the Speaker's chair, and I asked Mr. David Lee, what are the impediments standing in the way of your team?
The opposition asked for sedition to be removed from the Anti-Gang Act and for a sunset clause.
Said that it? Said yes, okay. I said okay, done.
The PM said he instructed his members to make the adjustments. Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi said after changes were made, the opposition had no objections to the 18 clauses.
When we came to the vote to the opposition, it started with no. And it included, according to Dr. Gopi Singh, a big fat no.
Dr. Rowley suspects the opposition voted against the bill for one specific reason.
So as the murders continue, those politicians in that group could point to the crime and the criminality and the number of murders and so on, and call Trinidad and Tobago a failed state and hope that you, the voters, will be disgusted with those in office and that you will put them in office.
In Dominica, the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union, WAWU, is claiming that workers are being fired for not helping in post-Hurricane Maria cleanups at their workplaces. WAWU Secretary General Curtis Augusta says the union is dealing with several cases in which employees were sent home for not participating in activities that he considers voluntary. He says the cleanup of business places should not be mandatory and workers should be given a choice as to whether or not they want to help.
What have happened is cause for tremendous concern. And I was always of the view that people should not be discriminated by virtue of the fact that they did not turn up to clean some of the compounds that where they were working. It is really true and truly a sort of cooperative venture if they do so, but nothing can be forced upon them because they are not janitors and they are not cleaners. And if their management would want them to assist in that, so should they say, and allow the employees to make a determination. Now, it is not fair to an employee whose house or home have been ravaged by Maria to give greater priority to the place where they work as opposed to the place where they live.
Well, earlier this week, Labour Commissioner Dr. Matthew LeBlanc said his office had been made aware of the situation and urged employers not to take advantage of workers. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next. Cricket tops our midday sportscast. Stand-in captain for the regional men's squad, Craig Brathwaite, is looking for solid partnerships to be formed in the second test against New Zealand. The Windies are looking to bounce back from their innings defeat in the opening test at the Basin Reserve at Wellington. The Caribbean side shaped up better in the second innings, reaching 214 for 2 at the end of the third day before collapsing on the fourth day. Brathwaite says the partnerships will be key in the second test.
I mean, yes, it's history, but I don't think we could forget it. As you said, we had a bad start first game, we bounced back. Also, we lost the first game here, and it's keep us to bounce back, and that's what we'll be looking to do. Obviously, there are some key moments in that game where we can take forward to this game to help us, and it's just fighting through tough periods and getting big partnerships. And that's something we can bring forward, and that will help us, from the batting side, but obviously bowling, we still have to stay disciplined and as aggressive as possible.
Brathwaite received the call to lead the side following Jason Holder's suspension, and he says he's eager to get on the job.
Well, yeah, as opening batsman, I like to lead, from the front, as the opening batsman, and that's something I back myself on, leading from the front, being a leader, and really looking forward to the challenge, captaining the West Indies in the second test.
John Campbell and Derval Green proved Jamaica Scorpions had little reason for concern at the loss of inspirational captain and champion left-arm spinner Nikita Miller in their return match against Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in the regional four-day championship yesterday. Campbell grabbed 4 for 40 from 17.5 overs with his flighty part-time off-spin, and fast-medium bowler Green snared 4 for 45 from 19 overs as the Red Force were bowled out for 243 in their first innings about half hour prior to the close on the opening day of their sixth-round match at Sabina Park. The Scorpions entered the match concerned about losing Miller, whose 23 wickets and stubborn lower-order batting in the last two matches has sparked their revival. And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 this evening for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.